Now the ceremony itself, and we see the ones that, especially for us here in Kenya, there's groomsmen, bridesmaids, and a party. Sometimes those can be 100, 200 in some weddings. The children, there are also children there.
Yes.
Page boys, I don't even know what that means. They are small
Flower
girls, flower
yeah.
girls, yes.
Yeah.
Help me understand where they came from.
So, the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, going back again to pagan Rome. First of all, like nowadays, in modern weddings, you're told that you should not wear white. That is competition with the bride. Okay, nowadays we don't really care. But you're not supposed to, as a guest, you're not supposed to wear white. That's competition.
The wedding.
Yes, you should. That's competition. So even her girls usually wear a different color. But now in pagan Rome, the bridesmaids and the groomsmen were to wear the exact same outfit, not even color, outfit as the design everything, because to confuse the spirits. So that when the spirits are coming to do whatever that is wrong, they get confused as to who the woman and the man of the day are.
Confuse the enemy.
Confuse the enemy.
Alright, so somebody is getting married.
Yes.
A lady. She has ladies who want to support her.
Yes.
Bridesmaids. So they dress exactly like her because they believe there will be spirits who would want to do harm.
Yes.
And so the way we can confuse them, these spirits don't know how human beings are different. Let's wear the same color. And so they will not know this is the bride.
Yes.
If they go, they can attack one and they think it's the one, but it's not.
It's not the one.
Also for the men.
Also for the men. And then also in bride capturing cultures, where you'd go and you steal a bride.
Yes, from the water point.
Or yes, in Africa it used to be from the water point. So in bride capturing cultures, the groomsmen were to help you in that process, or to also protect you during the wedding ceremony, so that my brothers wasikuje take back their girl. So they're like
so
guards.
Security in case these guys come with their girl.
Yes, but mainly it was that one of confusing the spirits.
And we call that Christian.
Nowadays you're just told, make sure your team has very prayerful women. Prayerful men. But it's not necessary. You don't even have to have them. You can still have a wedding and a very blessed and successful marriage without having a life.
So what you're saying is, these things may be good, but they should not be mandatory for a wedding.
Or made biblical, to sound like it's a biblical thing, yes.
Trying to put the weight of the Bible behind these things, that would be bad.
Yeah.
And then the small children.
The small children, I'm not sure about the page boys, but what I'm sure about the flower girls, of course they are walking in front of the flower girl in particular, dropping the flowers. It was a sign of purity in some cultures, the small girl, a symbol of how she's grown up, she was a small girl, now she's yes. The flowers again was a thing of a lot of weddings also used wheat products, wheat, flour, which was a sign of fertility. So sometimes this girl would be throwing rice or wheat, again signs of fertility, the flowers blessing this family, warding off against spirits who would come wanting to affect the fertility of said bride.
So appeasing maybe the god of fertility.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we are engaging our little girls in insane things if we think about it that way.
No. Okay, we are actually, if you are getting married next, just start to do it. Okay.
So, but that was the origin.
It's good to know. So that when you're doing it, also you know whether your conscience is clear or not. Okay. So the ceremony itself, when the man has to come first, or they're in church, the lady comes in, there's music, walking down the aisle.
Walking down the aisle. This one goes back to when it was a family thing. you are your father's possession. So so the father walking down the girl walk down there is handing over the property. It is that transaction, handing over property to the other.
Where's my cow?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah. Handing over the property to the other family. Yes.
Okay. And the music, of course, spiritual things. Music was part of that one. And then,
but the interesting thing, if I can talk about this now, how the wedding ceremony came to the church, because we've said a lot that it was a family affair.
It was between two families.
It was between two families. Then now, when the in 1164, when the Catholic Church made it a sacrament, it started moving from wherever the family had chosen to the church. Pole pole. It started first by a priest would come to wherever the ceremony is happening and give his blessing. And then it started moving. It came like, okay, it will be done in the compound of the church. And then it moved now to the steps of the church. The couple stands on the steps of the church. The priest comes out, gives his blessing. And then now finally it moved to where we make it what I have heard. No, you must have your wedding at church on the altar.
Holy of Holies.
For it to be blessed. Yes.
So if you this is what the understanding is. If your wedding didn't happen in a normal pulpit area, then it's not blessed.
It is not blessed.
There's no principle to back that one up.
No.
And you can see where this is coming from.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think we are not like the Catholic Church, but as you can see, we are very, very much like them. So much so that we reflect that in our weddings, our very most important events.
Yeah.
And so the blessing part is what drew people into the church and the pulpit.
Yes.
And people basically feeling like, if I do it here, it will be most blessed.
Yeah.
I think. Also, that speaks to the fact that when Jesus came, he said, now people worship not in a place.
Yeah.
You will not go into a mountain somewhere for you to meet with God. It is an everyday, everywhere thing.
Yes.
So the pulpit area is not holy. It's the people who step there who can make it holy or not.
Yes, because in this building, we are the ones who can bring the indwelling of the presence of God.
The Holy Spirit indwells
in us, not in stone.
Which is hard for them people to understand. Actually, one of our churches was I think a doghouse. And if you talk to a Jew that you are worshipping in a place that used to be a doghouse, that will be an issue. That's the truth. And those places, we think, if we consider places or things to be holy than people, we've made the mistakes of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The words now that come when the vows. The vows, yes, those ones. I remember when we were being told those words. If I was asked to say these things, I would not say these things. This way, at least. It was the pastor repeating. So repeat after me. Pastor, I've repeated after you, but I don't know what I've said. But I've repeated. It must be very important. Are those words in the Bible?
No, they're not in the Bible.
They're not in First Bramwell.
They're not. And sometimes we also look at a mistake we make in Christian is we take Jewish culture to equal Christian. So, but even if we look at the Judeo, the way they did it, we can't see a part for that. But again, it just goes back to the Catholic Church when it was made a sacrament. They also had a liturgy to go along with it. A liturgy is just, writings,
process.
A process, yes.
Of how something should be.
Yes, so we've tweaked it, borrowed it, but it's just part of the liturgy.
That's the origin of that one.
Yeah.
It's from 1100s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the words themselves, they sound nice, but they sound serious. You feel like I'm buying a cow. It's like a contract language.
Yes, it's a contract. Yeah.
There are groups of people I've had, especially modern day faith people. They normally don't like the part that says for better, for worse. The worst
sickness.
Sickness, they remove that one.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that one? Are they correct?
If we are talking about, yes, you can discard the whole thing and fine, go ahead. But when we are talking about how that translates into real life, if you're just rejecting it for the fact that you're saying, I'm faith-filled, I will not call upon sickness, that's living in denial, as it were. But also it's not a reality of the Christian life, because if we take it from the King James Version, you're called to long suffering. The patience aspect.
So it's part of the Christian part.
Yeah.
Christ said, in this world you'll have trouble.
Yeah, you'll have troubles.
I think some of the faith people tell him, no, Christ, don't say those words like this.
He said, you will have suffering, but have courage, I have overcome the world. So that is, when we are saying those words, probably what we are saying is, we are committing to overcoming this
This
together.
will not change what we are agreeing to. Yeah. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then those ones don't have to be exactly the same for you to feel like, now these ones are the most important. Because also they've changed over time.
Yeah.
It's to even look for the best way to capture. And then, like, I don't know, maybe you can say, Christ said we should not swear by anything. Or by, weren't you swearing those clauses?
Yeah.
So are we disobedient?
I don't know. Tell me. Mr. Bible teacher, tell me.
Mine is black and white. Yeah, disobeying should stop that one. We can see the intention that you want to make it, there is clarity on what you're agreeing to.
Yeah.
But sometimes also we should always look at, are we going against what already is expressly said in the Bible?
Yeah.
And sometimes we put, that would be a curse, because if we don't keep what we are saying, we are keeping. Imagine you're saying for better or worse, and then the worst comes, and then you don't.
Yeah.
You've cursed because you actually swore before
the
witnesses that you said those things.
Maybe also it was something that was led by fear. I'm not sure. I should actually read more about this, but I'm just thinking, having an idea right now. Maybe thinking of a way, the church says, okay, we have to think of a way of scaring these people out of divorce.
Oh, you're getting the point. Because those words are, before pastor says something, he says, as you shall stand before that dreadful
day. So it's a way to scare the fear of God into these people.
I think also, if it's a church wedding, it should be between believers who are mature enough, so that you're even sure these people, whatever happens,
divorce is not part of their vocabulary.
But maybe you should review. It's a good area to go and review and see. And sometimes, because it's, people may be feeling we are touching on the Bible. Actually, we are not touching anything.
Yes.
We're just touching on
no verse.
Human cultural teachings that masquerade as the Bible, which we can actually address and talk about much more. The honeymoon part, is it also?
Honeymoon, I think, is just an addition that came later, a holiday that you decide to take as a couple. So there's not much. Okay.
So the Bible, the Old Testament, somebody gets married. A man was exempt from fighting, so you are, for 1 year, you are out.
Yeah.
The reason was given that they may learn how to please their wives. Bible, thank you God for thinking about us. That was good.
Yeah.
Anything else that we've not captured?
Yeah. So the bridal party, going back to that a bit, there's the matron of honor, which in Kenyan weddings we have changed to matron wa toto. But her job, she was supposed to be a woman who had already been married and an upstanding woman in the society, sort of someone should probably be like the mentor for the bride. Then there is something we call a bridal shower.
Yes, that one. Yes. Let me say what before I came to town.
Yes.
I heard first about bridal shower, and I was wondering, there's a special bath before they get married. There must be that. Whatever they're washing, that is.
Yeah.
So what is a shower?
Well, okay, the way it is done now in the Kenyan context, it takes various forms, but it's a time for her friends to come celebrate with her. Sometimes they have someone who come and talk to her about preparation for marriage, and sometimes they can go south.
Yes,
those ones. Others, of course, if they're non-believers, then it's just a party time. what they call actually a hen's night. Now that is what I wanted to talk about.
A what?
Hen's night.
Like a chicken?
Yes, yes. Now, the origin of that particular word, hen's night. Remember when we were talking about dowry, and the dowry being what the bride brings. Yes. So poorer families would have a hen's night when her friends would, whatever they collect as gifts, it would go to help with the dowry. Yes. So it was just like a party, come say bye to your friend, and then whatever.
You're giving her things to go and start life.
Yes, they go and So some people call what we call a bridal shower, some people also call a kitchen party, where it is just this bride is getting married and we bring kitchen things for to help us start off. Yeah. Then there is, again, back to the ceremony, there's a bouquet.
Yes, the flowers.
The flowers. Back to Rome, when they would weave greenery, and it would have various herbs and things that were symbols, various symbols, fertility, nini, again, and warding off the spirits. Yes, they were all spiritual.
Were spiritual symbols of something.
So they were mainly garlands and crowns rather than flowers. Then as they got into let me read a quote here in particular. When bridal couples would weave greenery and blooms into garlands and crowns scented with rose or orange blossoms, adding herbs to honor the gods and promote fertility and good fortune. That is from a lady called Valerie Gittelman. And then during the Middle Ages, the bouquet of flowers was partly spiritual, but also to ward off bad odor. There's no perfume.
So you cover that with
yes, you mask bad odor with your bouquet. Then now when we got into the Elizabethan and Victorian era is when it became more for beauty. In fact, in the Elizabethan era, it was more romantic. The flowers that you chose for your bouquet had a meaning. They would convey your romantic sentiments.
Okay. So the red,
like a red rose, or a primrose, as in every flower and color have a meaning. Okay. So you would include whatever thing you wanted to convey in your bouquet. Then after that, I just became a fashionable thing. Yeah.
And this thing of giving, throwing it to somebody to
catch. Again, back to the superstitions. If you caught it, you're the next bride. Yes. And then they also said in the bridal party, if for example one of the bridesmaids stumbles when they're walking up the aisle, that's bad luck. If you're a bridesmaid 3 times in a row and you don't get married, that is a curse. You're cursed.
You're not cursed, but
we have some ladies behind the camera.
Yes, you're not.
So to break that curse, you have to be a bridesmaid again 4 times, so that it comes to the lucky number 7.
Oh, so
7. So it's now a total of 7 times.
And you have to ensure the next wedding also you are involved.
Yes, 4 times, so that you get to 7, and then after 7 times, the curse is broken. Yes. Yeah. Then the wedding cake.
Finally, that's the wedding. In Kenya,
in a Kenyan wedding, that's the thing, and there've been a lot of also superstitions around this.
Even the cake.
Even the cake.
Okay.
In the cake, in the modern church, you know, Kenyan wedding context, you know, there's things around who can and who cannot cut the cake.
I've heard that one. There was a single lady who cut once, and then somebody complained, how can you give a single person to cut the cake?
Yeah.
I was wondering, why is that in the Bible?
Yeah, so the origin of the wedding cake, it started with back to our beloved Rome, but this one was even a bit further into pagan practices, where a scone was broken over the bride and the groom, which was to symbolize fertility again. Then they were each to try and eat a crumb that they get.
No, that's where people put the cake and they want to bite from it.
Yes. And do that as a unified. It then later evolved where they would now pile like cookies and sweet treats. They pile it into a small mountain. Then as a bride and groom, you have to try and kiss over that mountain to ensure, again, your fertility.
So all these things are symbols for fertility?
Yes. Wheat, like I said, wheat. Whenever you read wheat in all this thing, it was to do with fertility.
Because cake also it's wheat.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So then later, oh, it has evolved. The wedding cake has evolved very interestingly. So there was that treats, and then at some point in those times, it was a pie, and that pie included some very gory things and parts of animals, all symbols of fertility. And you were to eat it. If you refuse to eat it, you will bring bad luck. Yes.
Hopefully no one is doing that to the cakes. Tafadhali, this is our cake. They want to eat the cake. The marriage is yours, the cake is ours.
Yeah, so but the modern cake as we know it it started with a baker who, as a symbol, a romantic symbol to the spouse, to be made a nice wedding cake. So it was the woman,
the groom who made for the bride.
Yeah, then it became fashionable again after that. And then everything that we know now, the tiers, the flavors, it's all a fashion thing. Yeah, fashion statement with whatever is trending at the time. Exactly. Yeah. So, I think that covers a bit about the what we call a Christian wedding.
Okay, good. And you see, even for the cake, the people normally who have issues with a woman cutting the cake, then let me also take this opportunity finally to say something to someone. If you've been cutting cake and nowadays no one is calling you, it's because you take too long. And these young people don't want to stay there for long.
It's true.
If you start telling us this cake is made out of salt, and it's a very good story, by the way, but they've had it 1,000 times. So unless it's something new, completely new, tell us this is made from tomato sauce, and tomato sauce means blood of Jesus. It will cover everything. It is not something new. Just if you want to be cutting cakes, make it shorter. Like that part is shorter. And then for the ladies who have issues with cutting cake, who is not cutting cake, this one should not cut the cake, because unless you have a biblical reason for that, everything else is discussable. It's your opinion. Somebody else can have an opinion about it. Okay.
So
anything else about weddings?
Yeah. So just generally, what I was saying, that we stop putting undue pressure.
Yeah. What Peter was telling, we're making it hard for people to get married. Like people are making it hard for Gentiles to get saved.
Yes, exactly. That was actually the verse I was thinking about. He said it seemed good to us and the Holy Spirit that they only, we should not burden you, only adhere to these two things. So it should be that around that, what we said the bare minimum is, around that we should remove this pressure. You can't wear that no. Let them wear what they want, whatever color they want to wear.
We have to maintain modesty.
Modesty, yes.
Because for sure there are some places modesty is quite another story. So that's a different story also. And for the young people also, when you're not sure about a fashion, you'll be having your parents. Just ask an older person, mature believer, ask them about that. Whatever design you want to do. Maybe what also we didn't capture much, is there a place for best couple, the people who stand with it?
I think best couple in the way we do it now is a very, very recent adaptation, so that your best couple is basically like a couple who are mentoring you. But before that, there was no relation. Like I said, couple, it's usually a married couple.
Best man was a best man.
Just a man that you've chosen. Best mate was a woman a friend that you have chosen. The aspect of maids even goes back to the time of Rebecca, like when she went with a maid.
So you didn't have to look for a maid, it came with the maid. Yes. That's interesting, because sometimes we fear saying the word maid to the house helps.
Yeah.
But we like it when it's in a wedding. We are amazing people.
Yeah. But it also means sometimes bridesmaids are bridesmaidzillas. They take over. They want to be the ones to be seen. I usually say, when you're there to work. It's not to.
So you're not the person.
You're not. Yes, that's the thing. Let it be. And then, but also in all these things, like if we go, like you were saying, modesty, decency, and those things. If it's a point of contention that you see is, and you are a believer as the bride and the groom, you also need to go back to the point of the weaker brethren.
For the
sake of the weaker brethren. Your conscience is clear about what you want to wear. Your conscience is clear about the color you've chosen or whatever it is. But because it's it is stumbling someone, then you say, for the sake of Christ, I will.
And that is also, is stumbling reasonable stumbling. There's that one, somebody wants to find fault. You can't please everyone. There's a point at which somebody will say, why is it happening at 11? It should be at 12. Every wedding starts at 11. All those kind of things are just secondary to the main thing. Above that now, coming to what the Bible, trying to see these things in the light of what the Bible says, what would you advise the young people getting married after this video?
Marriage is God ordained and it's good. And marriage itself predates ceremonies.
So first of all, you've made a distinction. There's marriage and there's wedding.
Yes.
Okay. There are people who are married but never had a wedding.
Yes.
It still counts in heaven.
Yes.
Because because Paul said, if there are two people who are not believers, one becomes a believer.
Yeah.
This one who is not a believer sanctifies the marriage. So the marriage now is recognized before heaven. And there is no ceremony that happens. It's just that transaction spiritually that happens. So there is that possibility as well. The come we stay one, I think even the government is trying to make things harder. They want to protect you from future issues. So they want you to have a certificate, at least from the government. And the certificate we have normally in weddings in church, marriage is an issue that the government is interested in. So that's why the paper is presented as a government document. It's not necessarily a church document. Actually, you didn't hear us mentioning about there being a document, a paper too. Because for us, we believe it's agreed here on earth, it's agreed in heaven. It's something that is recognized. Just that way. You know, some things we think have to have a lot of fanfare for them to be recognized in heaven. Even our salvation, just a simple decision, a belief in your heart and the confession, you become saved. So things may look simple here, but they have major implications in the spiritual, in heaven, if I can put it that way. So then marriage and then wedding. So you're saying marriage is a good thing, God ordained.
Yes.
It is of God. As we said, Jesus did rubber stamp by being part of a wedding and helping it go on. So the wedding part. Somebody out there, they want to get married, but if you ask them, they say, we don't have money.
Ask the Lord, Jireh,
to provide.
And He will provide. And He will, He's a good Father. Don't carry, as you're going to ask Him, don't carry the pressures, again, like we've talked about, the pressures of society and culture and church culture and your community, the pressures that may be putting whichever way. Take your heart's desire to the Lord and present it to Him, and then allow Him now to unfold that part. So don't stop at, I don't have money, and capturing in other things. Take it to God and ask Him, what is your true heart about this?
Even for the couple, the people getting married, ask yourself, what is it that we really want in the wedding? Because what you're thinking you'll get by having those things is what God will provide. The joy, the peace, the enjoyment. That can only come if God is involved. And
the ability to enjoy, because He says, He gives us these things to enjoy, plus the ability to, because you can have them all, and like you like saying, people will see this beautiful wedding and then ask, where was this funeral?
And they're looking at the pictures.
Because everyone is gloomy.
There's an aspect, maybe I don't know if you can mention it here, because the ladies have the bridal shower, the men also have come up with something.
Yes.
It's called
different. It's called a stag night. Some people call it a stag night, or a.
What is a stag called?
A stag is like a deer, the male deer. Yes.
A bull deer.
Yes.
So what is a stag doing?
what is he doing in the wedding? Just the way there's a hen's party.
So there's a name.
And then what is the other word? That the name has escaped me. The common one for men, that bridal shower men.
See, even the way she's referring to, it's men copying the ladies. Stop. Personally, I don't like them so, but if you enjoy sadly, there are things that happen. Even sometimes some movies have come up and said, for the man, then that's the day to sin the most.
Yes.
Because you'll never...
Your last night to be promiscuous.
Stupid. Don't fall for the devil's tricks and those lies. And if that is what is happening in our church, please, no. Okay. Just address the issue of the dowry as we finish. Somebody will be asked for dowry. What will they do?
Now like a young man is going to be asked for dowry.
I think they'll show them this video.
I think sometimes we underrate the place of prayer, that you can pray and put your desires to the Lord, no matter who the other person is, but especially if the parents are believers, that you ask the Holy Spirit to go ahead of you to pave the way, and to that the people who go with you, because usually you can't just go and talk yourself, you have to go with negotiators, and also the Spirit of God will be on these people so that a light can come in that process.
Even the choosing of those people.
Yes.
What is informing? Are you choosing somebody because of their cultural status?
Yes.
Or is it because they are
the believers? You would rather go with a mature believer in the Lord, who can come out of there having even taught the other party the place of dowry.
Well, that's also a point where people need to know. Even the Bible does have something to say concerning this particular issue. It's not just a Sunday issue thing. But also, one of the things I've also noticed is we become very traditional concerning weddings. And then it comes to the point where somebody has died and the same people who want to negotiate for you, they want to also have a say in how you should be buried. You should be buried sitting. And you start, no, we don't want those now. Those are traditions. But these other ones were traditions as well, but you didn't have that kind of thing to say. So you can hear what she's saying, walk with God.
And also there's also the place of, personally, okay, maybe I'll be called kichwangumo, but I am a person who stands for, I'll just say no. And I think in my parents' generation, I had many stories of couples who said, no, we're not doing this because we know what the cultural implications will mean. And it means, like you said, if we allow them to do this, when it comes to funerals, when it comes to when our children are born, wanataka kunyoa nywele and we are refusing, we are opening a door for, and they stood their ground, had their, especially the tukutenderesa age, then they said, it's fine. They had parents who refused to come for weddings, but they still got married and they also didn't just leave it like that. They rebuilt the relationship after that. It wasn't a thing of, okay, go. But they said, we are standing for our principles and gained respect within the family. And even had greater effect in evangelizing their families, because it was not a watered down Christianity.
And that's the truth, because sometimes the most important things in our lives, that's when Christ should be seen the most. And if he's not being seen when it matters most, then he's a Christ that people will not want to have. If they can talk you out of that one, they say, oh, Christ, okay. And having that confidence and clarity on your stand with Christ before even these events will help your cause when you get to that point. And I think some people may say, I need to respect my parents. The Bible does something very direct also concerning that. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord. My dad cannot ask me to go and see a witch doctor and I say, I should obey my father. Just go to see the witch doctor. No, I obey them in as much as they don't conflict with what I know Christ stands for. So, and this is one of those points that you can use to make a statement even for the family, and you can be the one who will change things in that family moving forward. Some parents will feel bad, they'll lose the material accumulative, the ones that they get lump sum. But I think in the long run, you'll have a relationship with that son-in-law that is much better, much open and godly in that sense. Any last thing that you want to say?
We're starting a whole other video, but on dowry, ladies know that you have a place to play. You have a role to play. You can speak on behalf of your husband to be tete, as it were. Find out what will be required of him. It's not blessing anyone when you arrive at the house na kuna kutoanishwa. You know, it's making, like I said, taking out the joy and the love aspect out of it. 1 Corinthians 13 should be our guiding principle for all these things.
Transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth, and the truth does stand. Finally, that's what will remain. And if you want to be on the side of truth, find out. You don't also have to take our word for it.
Yes.
Do your study with the Bible and see where that will lead you. For now, thank you so much for being with us. God bless you. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.